Hey, fourth grade, let's take a quick break from what we're learning in the text and begin to see what the commentators say in this Comcast. So you just texted the following. In Pasuk Gimel, Yosef reveals himself to his brothers and says, Ani Yosef, it is I, Yosef. The brothers react with shock. They begin to pull away from him and try to skirt their way out the door. Yosef, seeing this in Pasuk Daled, says, guys, wait up. Come close. So they do. And then he says to them a second time, Ani Yosef, it is I, Yosef, but this time he adds the word Achichem, your brother. Why does Yosef have to say this? Obviously, they know Yosef is our brother. There must be a reason why he adds the word. So there's a couple of explanations in the commentaries. The first is Or HaChaim, a Spanish commentator, who says that Yosef specifically uses the word Achichem to let the brothers know that he still feels like a brother towards them. Despite all the bad things they've done to him, he still feels like their brother. He said this word to make them feel less afraid. On the other hand, Sforno, an Italian commentator, says Yosef was using the word Achichem to prove it was really him. Again, the end of that pasuk, Ani Yosef Achechem, it is I, Yosef, your brother, Asher Machartem Oti Mitzrayma, the one who you sold to Egypt. Only Yosef knew that story. It had to be him. Therefore, the brothers must have known with certainty that it was really Yosef standing in front of them, because only Yosef knew that story and no one else. But let's focus on one other aspect from the text here that needs some explanation, and that is what Yosef says to his brothers when he first reveals himself, Ha'od Avi Chai, is my father still alive? Obviously, Yosef knew Yaakov was still alive. The brothers have been talking about Yaakov this whole time in their conversation. So why would Yosef bother to ask the question if he already knew the answer? So here there's two explanations that are quite helpful. The first is Sforno, the Italian commentator, who says Yosef wasn't quite sure the brothers were telling the truth. In fact, Yosef thought that the brothers might have been making this up to try to get him to be sympathetic to them, to make him feel sorry for them. Oh, we've got this father, he's so old, and we really need you to let us go so that we can go back to him. They were basically trying to guilt Yosef into letting them out. Yosef wasn't so sure they were telling the truth, and so he wanted proof, and so he said, Ha'od Avichai, now that we all know who you're talking to here, tell me, is my father still alive? There's another wonderful explanation here by Kliakar, who lived in Poland in the 1600s. This is an unbelievable explanation. He says the emphasis should be on the word Avi, my father. He said, Ha'od Avichai, is my father still alive? Yosef wanted to show the brothers that they didn't really care so much about Yaakov. Only Yosef really had feelings of sympathy for his father and cared for him like a son. The other brothers, who this whole time were putting on a show and pretending like Yosef had been dead, they clearly didn't care about Yaakov as a father, and only Yosef, the one who was really close with Yaakov, feels that he is the one child who has a strong connection to Yaakov, not like the other brothers who put Yaakov through such a terrible ordeal. So he says the words Ha'od Avichai to give the brothers a little bit of a rebuke, to make the brothers feel a little bit badly for what they've done. Only he cares about Yaakov's feelings, not them.